We're following a lot of things for you on this Wednesday, including, of course, the big story of the day. It is day 2 for the jury selection in the involuntary manslaughter trial of Jennifer Crumbley. She is the mother of the Oxford High School shooter. Now, the defense attorney, prosecution, the judge, they are still in the process of picking the 12 jurors, 5 alternates to serve. They're getting pretty close to seating a full jury after this morning. We're going to get to what's happening inside the courthouse in just a moment, but wanted to bring you some perspective of what attorneys are looking for in a jury when they do choose. I spoke with George Daniti. He's a defense attorney with Butzel. Take a listen.
I think that there's probably not many people that don't know about this case. And so the voir dire, which is what we call the questioning of the potential jurors as they're getting ready to be selected for the jury, or maybe 2 juries here, it's going to be hard to find somebody, and certainly the number of people for a full jury, that won't have an opinion on this, that haven't heard about this, that haven't been influenced by certain things. I think that you can get through that, but if somebody's really following it closely, for example, and we talked about, the judge excluded extramarital affairs. Well, they're going to have to ask about that, because if you heard about those things as a potential juror, now you have knowledge about the case that you can't bring into the jury room. So it's going to be people that are not following this case at least that closely. But can you find people that don't know about this case? I can't imagine that's going to be very possible. I don't know that there's a prototypical person that you would want for the prosecution side of this or the defense side of this. I mean, maybe, I don't know, it's hard to say. Like, would a defense lawyer want a parent? Because maybe a parent would say, whoa, I don't want to be held responsible for something that my child may have done. Maybe, but I don't know.
Talk to us a little bit about process, what we can expect when there's sidebars, if there's delays. It doesn't all just happen rapidly. It could take weeks.
There's substantial evidence to be admitted, substantial witnesses that are going to be called, and yes, there will be issues that arise. Do you do kind of the sidebar where you can handle it quickly? Do you dismiss the jury because they're more substantive? I know that judges want to run a tight ship as best they can. Almost all of the judges I've appeared in front of take the jurors are performing their civic duty. They don't want to waste jurors' time, and so they're very respectful of jurors, and they should be, because the people selected to be on the jury have a very important role to play, but they're obviously there and kind of taking time out of their normal day-to-day lives. So judges are very good typically about that, and they don't want to waste time on those things. So they try to do those things early in the morning, late in the day, maybe during the lunch break, but things will come up during the course of the trial. It's just nature of the beast.
All right, this is a process. So joining me now is Karen Drew. Sean Lay, of course, is in court right now, but Karen has been talking with Sean and also working her sources on this case. All right, Karen, give us a sense of what's happening this morning in court.
Yeah, lots. What's interesting about today, we're really getting into those parenting questions of the jurors. Yesterday, we didn't hear as much. So here's the latest in terms of numbers. And you may have mentioned it, 325 reported yesterday for jury duty. 50 were brought up yesterday. They need 17 for the jury. Many are being dismissed. And I want to give a little bit of insight. So they're asking a lot about parenting, also asking a lot about guns in terms of, do you have a gun? What are your feelings on guns? Should a child ever touch a gun? There were some responses from jurors saying, we're hunters. We understand that there are guns in the house, but there is responsibility. There was one juror that had said, potential juror, I should say, that said, listen, no child should ever, ever, ever touch a gun for any reason whatsoever. But that juror still has stayed. Now, let's go through the numbers. Prosecution did not have any challenges on the 17 people that were in the jury box. The defense did ask to dismiss 2. I will say one juror was dismissed. It was an older gentleman who said he watches the news all the time, and in his words had felt that he knew this case. He knew the coverage, he knew the prosecution, he knew the defense, and he knew the evidence against the parents. And as you know, Christy, when someone says something like that, there's a lot of red flags in terms of something like that, and they were like, let's let's remove you.
Immediately, because that's what's so important is that there has been so much about this case that's been out there in the media, and the judge and the attorneys are asking these jurors to say, wipe all of that away. We know that everyone comes in with their own bias, but can you just sit and listen to the evidence that is presented here in this involuntary manslaughter case? I think that's really interesting. And you talked about challenges, Karen. So both the prosecution and the defense, they get, I think, is it 5 challenges that they can just say, okay, we don't want that juror for any reason. We don't even have to say.
You can basically, I mean, you wouldn't say it, but like, I don't like the way you look. And you can be like, you're out. You know, you've got 5 of those. And there's a variety of reasons why they may pick or choose, you know, that. From what I understood, I checked the last numbers, it looked like 9 women and 8 men right now have, in a sense, gone through. They haven't been officially dismissed. It looks like they could be potential jurors, but there still is a lot of questions. One of them was interesting. It was a female, and she had said that her, she felt that she was almost in a school shooting. Her sister could have been a target, but she said, you know, she could feel impartial in a situation like that. And obviously there was questions too about evidence in terms of, okay, what do you know? Are you going to be fair in terms of, it's really hard. We've said this in news coverage in terms of, you know, what you have seen in the past, and can you break that apart? I think you did report earlier, you know, they did have their lunch break. They had it a little early. They are just back in right now. But I would say the parenting questions, the gun questions, those are real big right now in terms of what they're asking about this afternoon.
Yeah, all right, Karen, talk to us a little bit about process in terms of, we've heard the judge say, once this goes, it's going to pick up speed. Obviously, you've got the prosecutors and the defense attorneys who are doing the question. They've got to seat this jury, but they also have to be thinking about, I could be doing my opening statements tomorrow, and really getting prepared for this process. And over 80 witnesses they had listed out yesterday for the jurors to see.
You know, there is a lot of evidence, a lot of people to speak, and you really want to get that ball rolling in terms of once you hit, you know, you get those jurors and let's get going. I mean, Jennifer Crumbley is there. It was one of our experts said she looks like a mom, and that's obviously the look that you want to look. She's wearing gray pants, a gray shirt. Yesterday she had that navy outfit on. They're trying to, you know, there's not a lot of reaction or emotion, you know, from what we can tell from the insiders in the courtroom telling us in terms of the questions being asked. But yeah, it is in a sense tense in the sense that everyone's been waiting since November of 2021 to get this case tried. So yes, prosecution and defense want to go as fast as they can, but also as thorough as they can in terms of picking these jurors.
Yeah, it's really important that you pointed out what Jennifer Crumbley looks like. Again, we can't have cameras in the courtroom for jury selection, but we are going to be carrying this entire trial. And all that we have seen from her is in that jumpsuit, in a mask, the file video that we have. So this will be different once trial gets started, and we're going to be able to have cameras in the courtroom. Karen, I really appreciate your expertise. Thanks for being with us, and we'll, of course, check in with you a little bit later as we continue to follow this on clickondetroit.com. Sean Lay will also be giving us updates as well. And again, you're going to be able to be with us here on Local 4 Plus as we stream this entire trial once it starts for Jennifer Crumbley, again, facing 4 involuntary manslaughter charges. They are still going through jury selection today.